In the year 2020, the whole world stood still because a virus held humanity captive. If you're like me, by now, you're beginning to wonder just how deadly viruses are and how they get spread in the first place. Well, consider this video my attempt to chronicle the deadliest viruses in the world today. Some viruses could be more dangerous than what I'm going to say in this video, and if you think I left any important ones out, feel free to let me know in the comments. Number 10. Dengue Fever. Dengue fever, also known as breakbone fever, is an infection caused by the dengue virus. With fewer than 10,000 cases per year, dengue is a rare but deadly disease spread by mosquitoes in the tropical and subtropical areas. According to the World Health Organization, about half the population of the world is now at risk of dengue, with an estimated 100 to 400 million infections occurring each year. Scary, right? Most people are asymptomatic to dengue, meaning they can carry the infection without showing the common symptoms. But in the case of severe dengue, the outcome might be fatal. Number 9. Castaner Forest Virus, or KFD. First reported in 1957 in the Katanakiti village forest of Karnataka in India, KFD is a viral hemorrhagic fever carried by ticks and transmitted to humans when they're bitten by an infected tick. Symptoms of KFD include a high fever, chills, severe muscle pains, frontal headaches, vomiting, as well as some other gastrointestinal issues. However, some patients seem to recover after 1 to 2 weeks of these symptoms without complications, but this is not the case for the other 10 to 20% who are likely to experience a second wave of symptoms after the 3rd week. KFD has a fatality rate of between 3 to 10%, which is almost nothing compared to the Machupo virus. Number 8. The Machupo Virus. First found in humans in 1963, not much is known about the Machupo virus and how it works or how to treat it. According to PubMed Central, it's one of the 5 reported South American arenaviruses capable of causing hemorrhagic disease in humans. Machupo virus was isolated during an outbreak in the San Joaquin region of northeast Bolivia. This virus causes a disease called Bolivian hemorrhagic fever, or BHF, also known as black typhus or dog fever, which is a rare and neglected tropical disease. If you're asking just how deadly is this virus, let me give you a clue. This virus requires level 4 biosafety conditions, which is the highest biosafety level there is. Not just that, the mortality rate for BHF is pegged between 5 to 30%. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know what else will. To give you perspective, 3 out of the 20 BHF cases reported to the Servicio Departamental de Salud in Beni Department, Bolivia, between February and March 2007 were fatal. Even scarier is the fact that BHF was one of the 3 hemorrhagic fevers that were researched by the United States and the Soviet Union as biological weapons in 1969 before the program was shut down. Number 7. The Crimean Congo Fever. Another deadly virus that is dangerous to human existence is Crimean Congo Hemorrhagic Fever, or COHF. This deadly virus can start manifesting as early as 2 weeks into infection, with fatal consequences like liver failure and a 25% risk of death prognosis. Typically, the COHF virus is spread to humans by ticks or when contact is made with blood or other serums of infected animals. Sadly, there are no FDA or WHO approved therapeutics for COHF, and prevention still remains the safest way to deal with it. Farmers and those who work in slaughterhouses are most prone to contracting this infection, so it's prudent to be cautious in such environments. Even though fatality rates as high as 80% have been recorded in some outbreaks, the standard fatality rate still sits between 10 and 40%, which is still pretty high if you ask me. Number 6. Junin virus. Also known as Argentinian Marburg, the Junin virus is responsible for Argentine hemorrhagic fever, AHF. At least that's how Wikipedia defines it. The first case of the virus was recorded in 1958 in the city of Junin, located in the province of Buenos Aires, Argentina. With an average mortality rate of between 20 to 30%, AHF has a severe compromising effect on the vascular, neurological, and immune systems. Furthermore, AHF has symptoms which include conjunctivitis, purpura, patakia, and occasionally sepsis. Number 5. Lassa virus. The Lassa virus is a sponsor of yet another type of hemorrhagic fever called Lassa fever. People in West Africa are mostly at risk, especially after contact with rodents like rats. Most times, complications with Lassa fever might occur with some sort of partial, complete, temporary, or permanent hearing loss. Symptoms of Lassa fever would typically include fever, weakness, headaches, vomiting, and muscle pains. Less commonly, there may be bleeding from the mouth or gastrointestinal tract. Number 4. Rabies. This is a very highly deadly disease. Regardless of treatment, once symptoms of rabies are detected, the result is almost a certain death. Meanwhile, it will usually take between 1 to 3 months for the symptoms of the sickness to show after contracting the disease. It must be said at this juncture that even though dogs are the most common animals that carry and spread the disease, there are other animals that could be guilty as well. Humans can be infected when they're bitten, scratched, or come in contact with infected saliva from infected animals. Infected humans will typically experience symptoms including fever and tingling at the site of exposure. These symptoms will be followed by one or more of the following: nausea, vomiting, violent movements, uncontrolled excitement, fear of water, an inability to move parts of the body, confusion, and loss of consciousness. Number 3. Hantavirus. This virus causes an infection that humans may pick up through contact with rodent urine, saliva, or feces. Contact with deadlier strains may result in Hantavirus hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, HFRS, or Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, HPS, also known as Hantavirus cardiopulmonary syndrome, HCPS. The Hantavirus was first isolated in the Hantan River in South Korea in 1976 by Ho Wang Lee. Number 2. HIV. Human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, is a sexually transmitted disease that can be contracted by semen, blood, or vaginal fluids. It can also be transmitted through non-sexual means, especially during pregnancy and breastfeeding between mother and child. Without proper management, over time, HIV degenerates into AIDS, or acquired immune deficiency syndrome. AIDS is a condition where life-threatening opportunistic infections creep in and thrive as a result of a weakened or failed immune system. At this stage, the slightest of infections and illnesses can cripple the entire body because the immune system is down. Usually, without proper treatment, an HIV patient may live anywhere between 9 and 11 years depending on the HIV subtype they have. Number 1. Marburg Virus. Marburg Virus is a risk group 4 pathogen requiring biosafety level 4 equivalent containment according to the World Health Organization and listed as a Category A bioterrorism agent by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I think that gives us a pretty good idea how dangerous this virus is. I mean, it is a wipe out the planet in a week kind of virus. This horrific virus causes the Marburg virus disease in primates, and it can be contracted either through exposure to a species of fruit bats or through contact with infected human body fluids. The virus was first discovered in the German cities of Marburg and Frankfurt in 1967. And there you have it. These are some of the most deadly viruses to humans out there. But before I go, let me know if you think I left any deadlier viruses than these out in the comments below. And hey, thanks for watching. And if you're new to the channel, then quickly hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification so that you'll be the first to know when the next video drops. See you soon!